Hello, it's Rhea. Wherever you are and whatever time it is, I hope you are enjoying yourself. So it's been a while, like longer than usual, but hold on to that thought. First of all, to cover like this video and stuff like that, this was initially going to be a silent studies video since it had been a while since I did the last one, but one, I got kind of conscious about the sound quality because I kept saying I was gonna like dive into seeing how I can optimize it and make it sound like really crisp ASMR quality, but then again, I don't know, is that really what I need to go for? I mean, I wasn't trying to make pristine ASMR videos because I'm not really that type of energy, but I wanted videos where I wasn't talking in them, but you could still draw along, and then I would be doing studies, so it's called silent studies, you know? The other reason is that I already planned on talking about a few life updates since it's been a while from posting, so instead of littering them in the video via text like I do in my silent studies videos, I figured I might as well just talk about them via voiceover and make this a typical draw with me. So you can kind of treat this like it's a drawing session with an old friend that you're catching up with, or even just background noise to let your mind wander around to as you do other tasks, or stare into the void, I don't know. Heads up, it is going to be quite yappy since I wanted to talk more about personal stuff regarding life and burning out as a human being and as an artist, and then hopefully talk about fun slice of life things. So if that is not your vibe and you wanted to draw in silence or drawing ambience, you can either check out my silent studies playlist instead. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by. For the actual content that I am drawing, it's just portrait studies that I found off Pinterest, but I wanted to try using my colored pencils and do sort of like a duo or trio color sketch style because it's fun to see how only a few colors can change up a drawing compared to just one color. I feel like it's a cool way to add something new to sketches, especially in a sketchbook. And I'd love to try to do this again soon because this footage was actually filmed from December, probably, since I had like the red nails, which is funny because I was thinking of doing like a white to pink ombre nail recently since we're in like spring Hanami season, but I remember being excited that I finally got ahead on footage, and then here we are. It's been like what, 2 months since the video that I last did. Like, I don't even, yeah. What's crazy is this video specifically, I kept trying to beg myself to just edit and get it out within all of these weeks, but I just didn't, or I couldn't, I guess. But I also feel bad whenever I rush a video to get it out. Like, I really like to take my time and enjoy putting them together because it helps ensure a good viewing experience. I mean, it is y'all that are gonna have to watch it, so. And with all of that general information out of the way, it brings us to the question of what happened. Because I know I said I'd take a step back from YouTube this year, but I kind of meant that in like this tsundere way, where it's like I take a tiny step back to post like 2 times a month instead of every single week, and hopefully with that I would get to build up a nice backlog with well thought out and well executed content. But instead, I just kind of dipped completely outside of like the occasional YouTube shorts to try to shoot my shot at feeling trendy and relatable. All I can think of is that part in Dochi's song where it's like, not even gonna cap no more, this is a really dark time for me right now. But like minus the drugs part, because girl, but no, like it kind of has been. I mean, yeah, I've struggled with mental health issues for years, so it's hardly new, but pairing that with my life situation has created some new lows, I guess you could say. Also, by no means am I trying to trauma dump and spill my heart out here. I have a hard time being honest to people about these moments in general. I talked about in like that long heart-to-heart cloud painting video about that, but I'm gonna just try to jump into this and get it over with so we can talk about more chill, lighthearted, and fun stuff that I've experienced lately. You know, we gotta end it on a high note. That said though, trigger warning, I suppose, for like depression, anxiety, like general mental health stuff, suicidal ideologies. Not me trying to say YouTube friendly as if I currently have monetization to begin with, but I guess like the best way I could put it is ultimately the life burnout really hit me hard. You know, being on such a long-term unintended job search and battling all of my inner criticisms of feeling like I failed everyone and everything despite my absolute best efforts, paired with the extreme anxiety of having little to no funds for a lot of like actual necessities like bills and food and things like that, which not to worry, like thankfully my parents, particularly my mom, was kind enough to help with that, but even then my strong urge for independence can still find dread towards that. So, and then on top of that, there's not really an outlet where I feel like I can let any of these walls down and say anything like this to anyone, regardless of what people say, because it's hard to really say that I felt that kind of mutual closeness. I think I've talked about this in that cloud painting video, so again, for reference, but yeah, so my best bet at this point is therapy, and I've known that for a long time. It's really not something that people should neglect, but at the same time, like, it's something that, you know, at least in the US, you do have to pay for, and you do, like, there's a whole process of like finding someone and like getting help and things like that. So while it is a very strong priority for me, it's not something that I can implement overnight, otherwise I definitely would have. And I think, you know, just dealing with all of this really made the fight for life and getting up every day seem almost impossible. I started questioning even more of like why I still try and if there's even a point to any of it. And to be honest, even now, it's like a part of me has rotted from this experience of my depression and anxiety getting increasingly worse in the past several months. It's recently gotten better, but I just felt a sense of mourning to see myself like not care about eating as much or brushing my hair or trying to look nice for my own sake. Also, my dark circles are abysmal. Like when I tell you my skincare is just like out the window. And I also didn't try to uphold many of my interests because there was hardly any energy to do any of them. And even then, it's like trying to uphold a schedule whenever I'm constantly getting interrupted by family chores and responsibilities, or sometimes I'd have to drop everything because I'm getting a call for an interview and I have to like lock in solely for that opportunity, which may or may not work out. So yeah, it's been a lot, and you kind of got the gist of it at this point. And then other fun little sprinkles of events, including my space heater sparking up smoke, which in turn made me have another scare that my desktop stopped working. Oh, and we had to get a new fridge suddenly because our previous one just kind of slowly gave way. Yeah, just a whole bunch of like chaos here and there, and it's definitely felt like quite the roller coaster to say the least. And again, none of that was to scare you or make you uncomfortable or cause sympathy. I just want to add context that it really do be like that sometimes, and so needless to point out, trying to maintain art consistently in a healthy and exciting way has felt like seeing a just born calf try to stand and gallop. Like, girl, just lay down a bit, okay? Until you get the hang of it, I promise you it's okay, we understand. Just lay down. So, and luckily things did get slightly better. I don't have a therapist yet, but I've been able to bring the light in my eyes back a little bit. Even though my low-key emergency art commissions that I opened in January flopped, I have been doing some design work for a family member to help build their website, and it's been pretty cool for a project. It also provided me money, which is great news for me. In addition, I convinced myself that I won't instantly die if I can't find work as a designer, which is what I got my degree for, and that it's okay to take on whatever job I need to in order to provide for myself. And some of you might wonder why I needed that kind of epiphany, but trust me, classism plus unhealthy work ethics paired with how people value worth in a person is quite the conversation, especially in America, and we're already in shambles as is, but like with whose energy am I gonna unpack that right now, you know what I mean? Like, so, as I feel a bit better, yeah, I went to the doctor's office for the first time and sort of just seeing how I probably should get back to taking my vitamins because I'm iron deficient and your girl needs to feel like an actual human being. And at the same time, I've been slowly trying to work out again. I've been miserable towards that, but I have slowly built up a streak this month and I'm kind of proud. Like, okay, we're seeing some progress. Because yeah, my shut-in electronics operating lifestyle is very like stationary. Like I don't really move outside my room much. I don't really move much in my room. If I'm not on my bed, I'm like at my desk. So, and on that same note, I do need to also get out more, even though I dread it and I don't really care to. So yeah, I feel like after I budget and gain a consistent income again, I'd like to plan some places to go or like things to do, and nothing major like large trips, because girl, have you seen the airplanes lately? Like no one, I need someone to explain that. Like I'm scared. But literally just going to like a nice cafe or something, or like trying a new restaurant, I feel like that would be a nice experience. I've deprived myself of so much, and like a good chunk of it is because of like due to finances and stuff like that, so I do get that. But yeah, I'm trying to build up the small joys in life and remember why they're a good argument to keep going. How that ties into creating is that I had another epiphany. why am I expecting myself to still function and meet all my goals for art when I clearly haven't been in a normal state of like anything? Like, legit, people take breaks all the time, like whether if they decided that for themselves or if it was due to an injury or a family emergency, literally just because they can. Because I don't know who else needs to hear this, but we don't owe anyone a constant output of anything. We're not machines, that's just not normal. And even for machines and technology, like, they break down and they need maintenance and updates. Like, I'm truly not sure why it didn't occur to me to just actually take a break or slow things down for a bit. What I've been doing all this time is trying to ignore life's atrocities and act like if I just push through to create anyways, I'll just get back on track eventually. And it's like, no, no, sweetie, it doesn't work like that. How we do in life obviously affects other aspects of it. It's like trying to function through the day on little to no sleep and eating your first meal at 4 p.m. while expecting yourself to operate the same way that you typically do, if not better, utterly ridiculous. And so similarly, I cannot expect myself to complete my normal wishes for art and being an artist if I myself as a human being am not stable first. And even if it seems doable, like at the beginning, it's only going to inevitably ruin me as time goes on. I think the desperation to continue in such a stubborn way is one, not only is art my outlet of enjoyment that keeps me sane, but I truly love it that much. So not doing it or not seeing the growth that I wish for simply because, wah, I'm sad, my life is a chore. Wah, like, it made me feel weak and silly because like, what do you mean my passion isn't enough to just create stuff? Like, hello. Is that very delusional? Yes, which is something I'm really good at being. The second part is it feels like there's a constant ticking time bomb or something above my head to where if I don't get enough done in a certain period of time, everything awful will happen. Everything, like the worst things that I could imagine. Turns out that's just called anxiety, and genuinely nothing happens, and life goes on like it does regardless, and you just figure out alternatives. I didn't want to fully step away because I felt like I would lose any chance of building a community and having myself known as an artist. These two things, though nice, aren't essential for being an artist though. And let's just marinate on that real quick. There's tons of people that create stuff out there and either they don't share it, like whether if it's just not online or not to anyone, or they're not well known. So they could be really good artists and yet finding them or their work is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, which for me is kind of like frustrating now that I think about it, because like I love to find authentic artists and give their work my appreciation like art was meant to be enjoyed. But I digress. I guess that just gives me another challenge to find as many artists as I can and enjoy all their work. But yeah, we have our whole lives to create. I always say this. And as morbid as it sounds, even if I pass away tomorrow, I simply want to make sure that I enjoy my journey of being an artist, even if it leaves off prematurely. I know I can't easily shake away from this impending doom of not being flashy, funny, and relatable enough, or improving super fast, or finding the quickest way to market and monetize my passion, so yay, I can finally do the thing I love as a way to live, except it's kind of like a trap because it unlocks a whole other shackle of pressure and confusion and burnout that most people don't realize when they start, but maybe that won't happen to me and I'll get super lucky and never have to worry about that, so it's fine. Really and truly, I realized the main thing that I want outside of enjoying being an artist is to create a nice community from it. And even then, it would be less about me in the spotlight and more like a cultivated space for like-minded people who enjoy art to just kind of coexist happily. And this is something that doesn't typically happen overnight, and it's okay if it takes longer than expected, or even if it doesn't happen at all. I know this kind of depends on like what you believe, but I feel like for me, it's not like we live solely to achieve things. Like, we don't even control our own birth into existence, so maybe it's okay if we just do what we can from time to time. Now, all of that wide-winded philosophical talk to say, I want to continue building myself back up again as a person and as an artist, and I want to believe that there's a nice reason to keep going, even if that reason is to just create art for my own sake. It's not like we even know how much time is left anyways, so I just feel like I'd hate to give up the opportunity to create more illustrations and draw more characters. Do a little bit more storytelling, you know? But in order to do this, it might help to just start from scratch. Take away all the formalities and appearances. I always joke about yearning to go off-grid from humanity because I'm introverted and rather shy to begin with, especially whenever it comes to sharing my art. So I think taking time for myself and restructuring my space to create as something a little more spacious and a little more patient, I think that would be very helpful for me, especially at this time. You know what? I'll say it. I don't think it's necessary to constantly worry about posting consistently or on time with the trend or even like always posting well polished art just to maintain relevance or the credit of being called a creator. I think we have value as we are, like whether if people see it or not, so trying to advertise ourselves perfectly might hinder organic growth that would happen otherwise. Even if it's not true for other people, I feel like that's definitely something that applies to me because I can feel the weight of it despite me not even posting that much. Like, y'all, outside of YouTube, I'm not on Twitter anymore. I haven't streamed in ages, and on Instagram, because of all this AI mess, I don't even really post outside of Instagram stories, and half of that, to a majority of it, is just slice of life yapping. But there's like this voice that's like, oh no, how will they know if I'm an artist and that I'm improving if I don't post this and that? And like, being a creator is just not meant to be performative. So social media is kind of like a form of kryptonite for us, but I'm pretty sure several of you knew that. So yeah, take a break. It can't hurt, and even if it makes me more irrelevant, I'd rather much have that than like lose my actual enjoyment and growth in art, you know? So essentially, my plan is to take a break for a few months from social media and posting and any of that, at least until maybe July or so. I don't want to feel the slightest obligation to post, and I mean it, because regardless of how it seems with me already kind of being MIA, the voices are always breathing down my neck about like, oh no, you're losing prime time, and it's just not that serious, bro. Like, I've literally been in the trenches, so what content is there for me to even post? Ah yes, Rhea sobs while trying to draw comfort characters ASMR for 2 hours. Like, no one's trying to listen to that or watch that, so I did tell myself during my hiatus that if I wanted, I could film content and then just post it later whenever I return. So who knows, maybe I'll come back with like a whole giant sketchbook tour. Although I'm not trying to like say stuff like that because I don't want to like prepare anyone for something that isn't potentially going to happen, you know, because the whole point is for me to take pressure off. So even if I come back with nothing, like, that's valid too. But then again, who knows, maybe I will throw out a couple of short form videos so I can finally make some phone storage space. But other than that, I'm just gonna be taking it easy on myself, just focusing on drawing in my own little space, and whenever it comes to being online, I'm just gonna be a spectator for other artists because I don't know if I've said it before, but typically I've found it hard to watch any other artists' YouTube videos if it's been a while since I posted something myself, which says a lot about my unhealthy relationship with productivity, but now I'm just like, screw it, I'm just gonna have fun. It's nice to just watch other people without feeling like I too need to share something myself, truly. But also, I love seeing other artists' stuff. Like, it's just really inspiring and really cool. But also, we need more love for genuine artists these days because, like, y'all, this AI spectacle has me side-eyeing so hard. Like, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't know if y'all saw, like, the recent mess with the Studio Ghibli stuff, but, like, if I speak, the world is gonna end up in flames. Anyways, that is the plan so far. And sorry if it was quite the emotional, philosophical ride, but since it's hard for me to be honest anywhere else to anyone, I figured I might as well use my own platform to tell it like it is and explain what's been on my mind lately. And now, we can talk about the fun stuff. Or, well, I don't really know how fun it is. It's kind of just like not depressing or like super deep emotional stuff. Because I only have so much time left. But I figured it'd be fun to just kind of like catch up on like what else I've been getting up to. Some pop culture things, I suppose. So, starting with music, I feel like I'm pretty much, like, for reference, I think my top Spotify artists last year, well, off the top of my head, I know for a fact that I probably listened to Aleph and Amoy no Take the most. So a Korean artist and then a Japanese artist group. And it's like, a lot of the music that I listened to both last year and still kind of this year is very, like, sad girl energy, honestly. Like, I don't know why. I'm not really a person that loves ballads per se. Like, I usually like more upbeat, exciting music. So, but I guess that just kind of goes to show like where I'm at right now. But even then, I think it's more just like I resonate with the music a lot, especially with Aleph. Oh my gosh. His last full album, Synopsis, very beautiful, very iconic. Again, his songs are very good for like, I guess, car rides, studying, like, I don't know, it's just a vibe. And he does have more upbeat songs as well. But the overall smoothness of his music, like I said, it really resonates with my soul. It's great for me to like lay in bed and think about life too. The one song that also recently came out from him, I think it's called Satankuru? Satankuru? Very gentle, very lovey feeling, you know, like just the energy that you get. The vibes are immaculate. As for Amoy no Take, I like a lot of albums from like their earlier music, but I also know that they recently came out with like the Pieces album. That's also really good too. I think if I had to pick a favorite album, ooh, that's really hard. I really like Ammonites, but I also really like the Streetlight album as well. I feel like a lot of their songs I just casually have on repeat because they're so pleasing to listen to. Speaking of music on repeat, gaming OSTs, oh my gosh. Undertale, Sega, anything Nintendo really, like it's just a done deal. But I also listen to some more popular in the spotlight artists that I've newly added to my playlist, I suppose. So Atarashi Gakko, like I mentioned Dochi earlier, Sabrina Carpenter, some of her songs. I truly love and resonate with music so freaking much, so it's always a fun time to discover new artists. Two albums that I've been playing quite a lot lately, despite them probably releasing last year. The first one is by an artist named Ako. I really enjoy her music. The album is called Jean in all capital letters. And another one is Asleep in Soft Ether by City Girl, who I love, really amazing music. I saw that there's like a duo feature song of City Girl and In Love with a Ghost on that album, and I was like losing my mind. I was like, wow, this is everything I could ever ask for. Other than that, stuff that I've been watching, it's all anime per usual. I mean, it's either that or like YouTube, but like non-art related YouTube, because again, I was like, I haven't posted, is that okay? So, yes, anime. I've rewatched Psyche K, I'm almost done with that. I started rewatching Skate because I heard there's either an OVA going to come out or it already is out, and that looked really cute. And then, oh, I started watching Apothecary Diaries with a friend, and most importantly, I watched Frieren, finally. Very precious anime. I cried a lot, especially at the beginning when watching it. I had no idea it had that much weight to it, so I'm glad I finally did watch it. And yeah, hopefully all these I'll try to keep up with the manga as well, maybe. For manga, I've finally finished Cardcaptor Sakura, the Clear Card arc. I have mixed feelings about that, but overall it was a nice time. And then I am rereading Haikyuu, so I can then rewatch Haikyuu for the 5,000th time because it is probably my biggest comfort franchise. And as for video games, I've been kind of in like this mindless spiral of the same 3 games throughout like the past month or so, and that is League of Legends because what's new, and then Love and Deep Space, which actually is a newer edition. Wasn't sure how I'd feel playing a game like that, but for the most part it's actually kind of lax, like it's a vibe. The boys feel like Nintendogs to me. And then lastly, Wuthering Waves, which has been quite the time. In all of my efforts, I finally secured Carlotta, Rosia, and Brandt, so I'm vibing, I'm set. I have no pull currency at this point, but it's fine. Unfortunately by now, I thought I was gonna get into things like how working out has been, or my obsession with tangerines, or even art, because I've had several ideas for a lot of stuff lately. But I mean, I sped up the video so that way it wouldn't be super long. I didn't want it to be 30 minutes, so I cut it by 5, and now I have nothing to say. But yeah, that's how things have been. This was our little check-in, and I hope you were able to engage in this video in like a chill way that brought an overall positive experience in your day. I'm sure it's a lot, especially if you're newer here and you're probably like, what the heck? But welcome in, here's your cup of tea. I probably don't need to comfort anyone on this, but don't worry too much about me being MIA. And should you miss me, I have a whole library of videos on my channel. I just want you guys to take care of yourselves and do your best in maintaining a few lights in life, even when things are dark. And even better if you can also help be one of those lights for other people. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed your time here today, you can let me know by leaving a like. If you're interested to see more of my content, you can always check out my other videos and subscribe. for reference, if you're new, I am Rhea, or Etheria, and I like making art and art-related content on my channel. While I can't say I'll post anything soon, you can continue to follow me here and other social medias and stay tuned for when I do. But until next time, once again, thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching me in any kind of way. It means so much, and I wish you a nice rest of your day and spring season. Take care.